Hello, beautiful being on YouTube. Hope you are doing well. And I'm driving, so I'm gonna make a short video, hopefully, to answer a question from one of the comments I got from the YouTube channel, that he was asking that how to stay present. Now, this question is very tricky. How to stay present is equal to how you aware when you aware that you actually out of the present status. Does that make sense? You are present when you aware that you are not present. I know it's a little bit tricky to understand. So in order to answer this question, how to stay present, I'm gonna talk about the symptoms that you can notice yourself, you catch yourself, or you catch other people when they are not present. Because once you catch that moment, which means you're present, right? Present and not present, this is our polarity. So the first one, general speaking, is this is actually big parts of people that are not being present is either they get caught up in the past, or they are tangled in the future, or get themselves, too far away in the future. And myself tend to be the latter one. I usually will think about a lot of future things. So, and sometimes I will catch myself, and I'm gonna talk about a little bit later in this video of when you catch yourself, how you bring yourself back. Okay, but I'm just gonna go with this train of thoughts first. So, first of all, caught up in the past, right? For example, you are on a date with somebody, and this beautiful people is just sit right next to you, right in front of you, or next to you, whatever it is. But because of your past dating experience, okay, so you will worry about certain things you're gonna tell this person, whether you should tell this person, not should tell about person. And because you caught up with the past, you were thinking about it, you suck into the past experience, and you will not even pay attention to what she's actually talking to you, right? Or like future, because of the past, you are afraid that this relationship is not gonna last long. But guess what? This is your first date or second date. Actually, you're not supposed to worry about 10 steps ahead of you. You're gonna worry about this step, which is that present time. So these are very common, actually, not just dating, at work, or, maybe you have a history of something happened at a last workplace, something about your license. Then you got to reactivate your license. Then you went to the new workplace. You always worry about it. Think people are going to find out your secret, and it's going to happen to you again, So it could be in so many different scenarios, like relationship-wise, career, work, like all kinds of things. So past and the future, okay? Either stuck in the past or get tangled in the future. And the second one is actually the emotional connection, right? So if you are on a date, you realize that you are talking, this person seems is listening, but they are not really interacting with you. You are like, they always say yeah, but not much of the information come back to you. And sometimes they are with you, they might be sitting next to you. But if you say you guys like, boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife, you guys are in a relationship, right? Like he just sit out there, seems he's watch this thing, but somehow you have a feeling that he might be processing something else. So because he's there, he's not touching you. Not say you're supposed to touch each other or how you touch each other, but obviously, even though you touch him, he doesn't have much of a response back. That either he's sucked in the TV or he's sucked into something he's processing. Now that's leading to the third one is multitasking. We human are, especially women, not saying guys they can't. Now women multitasking is a skill. When men multitasking, they sometimes tend to drop all the balls, okay? So when people tend to multitasking, because you think about it, if your focus is 100%, and if you are multitasking 3-4 different things, you are distributing your energy to 3 or 4 different parts, right? So if you are, this side is help your kids to do the homework, and that side you were cooking, and on the other side you still on the phone call try to figure out work stuff. So how can you are not being present. You try to be present for all the things, which means you are not present for one thing. Does that make sense? Because being present, which means that we 100% for what's going on in front of you, right? So focus on conversation, focus on emotional connection, focus on the eye contact, right? Sometimes you look into the people's eye, that's why when you talk, you look into people's left eye, to answer the question of how you stay present. First of all, have good eye contact, okay? When you look into people's left eye, which means looking into their soul, it's help you to stay focused and be present at that moment. And when you focus on people's left eye, a lot of time in conversation, I realize whatever happened around you doesn't really matter. They all blur away. I'm focused on this conversation with this person. And when also another one, number 4, when people not present is when they rush, right? When you try to get things done, and because you want to get to the next step, so this is more of a little close to you, like future or whatever, but the energy is a little bit different. It's like you are rushing through things. When you rush through things, you are not being present, because let's, for example, you go hike, right? You have 5 miles to go, but you rush it. You want to get to this like destiny or this destination. And but you forgot that it's 5 miles walk, 5 miles hike that requires pace yourself in a way that other people can like walk next to you, right? So when you try to rush things to get to some place, you're not going to be present, because you are in the mood of get things done. When you try to get things done, it's that you do the dishes. You're not doing the dishes. You are doing the dishes, but you're not doing the dishes. If you really be present, to just focus on every single dishes, pay attention to how much soap you put on, feel the water temperature, and being thankful and grateful that your wife, your husband made the dinner for you. That's being present, okay? So, but also don't feel bad that you not being present, because that's exactly what we try to break through or break those boxes, because modern days, so many things happen so fast. We don't even sometimes have time to cook. Not just you, maybe, like myself, sometimes I do not have time to cook. And because I put things too busy, and you have to, sacrifice certain things to make sure that, you either, if I cook, spend an hour cook, I might need to take one session off my calendar. If I put this session on my calendar, I probably cannot cook. So that's a choice I'm going to make, but I'm aware, right? So we talked about those 4 symptoms of, when people not being present. So how to stay present. Like the first thing I talk about is what's that? Eye contact. Second of all, when you rush, be aware. It's like this one I'm actually going to touch circle way back at the beginning. I'm talking about, you wrap up in the future, right? Already think about, you want to start a company, and then you haven't even registered the company yet. You are afraid that people are going to be jealous, okay? So, or you rush through the process, and, the energy is a little bit different. But for this energy, the way to stay present, you're going to ask yourself, what is my next step? Instead of 12 steps ahead. When you ask yourself what's your next step, it can help you to be present. Or ask yourself what I need to do right now for me to get to this 12 step. What is this step? Usually it can pull you back to the present time, because you want to go to 12 steps. Yes, I know it. But you have to go through this 11th step to get to the 12th step. Is that right? So pulling yourself back to ask yourself what is the next step, or what step you are currently at, it will help you to be present and have patience. When you will rush, right? It's because we don't have patience, we get dumb. So being patient is another. Being patient with yourself and being patient with other people gonna help you stay present as well. And also, the last one probably is hard. it's sometimes it's so hard for you to be aware when you're not present because you are in it. So if you can, maybe if you are in a relationship or have good friends or whoever, you trust them, they're not going to judge you. Help them to ask them to help you, to support you, to remind you when you're not in present time. Okay? And ask support. Ask support. What the heck? You see the person is just honking at me because he want to turn left and he want to turn right, I want to turn left. That's not being patient. Right? Anger, rage, road rage. Because they want to get to that place, they may be late. Right? They're not being, they be maybe very present to honk at me. But like, if you know that's very important, why you don't leave the house a little bit early? Right? Have a compassion and forgiveness for other people. But find somebody can hold this accountability and not going to judge you. And then, remind you. So in this way, you can bring yourself back to the center. And also, just let you know, when I was going through my own healing journey, I'm still in this journey, by the way. But when I was working on this specific, this matter we're talking about, being present, I realized that it's a practice. It's sometimes sometimes you like completely lose yourself. Let's say you realize that you were sucked in the YouTube for an hour or TikTok, right? And you realize you come out is, oh my goodness, how does that 40 minutes go? That time is actually you completely lost it because you did not even aware until things is done, right? Or sometimes, you are like watching, TikTok still. Let's use the TikTok. And you're like, oh, wow, I'm wondering how many minutes I was in. And you realize it's 20 minutes. You're like, oh, okay. So you catch yourself in the middle of that. And you keep practicing until one day you went to TikTok. You're aware that you might going to be sucked in, lost track of time, or forgot you have a meeting, whatever. It's like, okay, before you even go in, you're like, okay, I need to be mindful. Am I going to set a timer so I know how long I will be in, right? Then to the move on to the state is like, oh, okay, you look at your whole day, the schedule, whatever, the calendar, whatever, and you're like, okay, that's definitely no time for me to even go on the TikTok or whatever. So like daytime, you probably won't be even on it because you are conscious that you do not have time. And maybe end of night, it will like, okay, I can spend 20 minutes on it. That's consciously using social media instead of lost in the, do not know when and how much time you need to consume. And those are the, you slowly pull yourself back. So it's not from 0 to 10. Today, you're not really good at being present. And it's tomorrow you are super present. It doesn't work that way. It's a human, we already used to certain patterns, certain those programs. So instead, if you want to unprogram it, yes, as computer file, you can delete it right away. But those things is a soft marinating. It's like you heard of that, people talking about you cook a frog in the warm water, right? Lukewarm water, this frog doesn't even know how it end up, he's been dead. The same thing. It's like, you've been in that pattern for a while. When you realize you're already far away, you might, you can't just shift right away. You need to slowly come back, slowly pull yourself back. So hopefully this video helps. And if it's, let me know any questions and comments, and also reach out if you are interested in doing breathwork or theta healing session or other healing things I offer. And you can find those links on my website, Inner Sensory Healing. And I will put the link down below. For the people who's, maybe first time or first 1 or 2 video, watch the video, then my name is Gina. I always actually forgot to introduce myself. But hopefully this information helps, and I'll see you guys soon. Okay, love you guys. Take care.